So to begin with that thick and creamy mashed potato on top, we're going to begin obviously with our potatoes. So I have 4 large potatoes that I've put in my pot already, and all that I need to do now is just to cover it with water, and we're going to get them onto the boil. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to the water. Okay, so my potatoes on the boil, they're going to be there for about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's move on to that juicy, succulent, meaty filling. Okay, so in a food processor, I'm going to be getting a mixture of mushrooms that I have over here. I've actually chosen the shiitake and the portobello. You can literally go with whatever mushrooms you want, as long as you have 500 grams. Now you can see I have this gorgeous like mushroom mince basically that is ready for us. I'm gonna move on now. We are gonna get our garlic sorted. Okay, so you're gonna need 3 cloves of garlic. And basically we're going to get this into 3 tablespoons of our beautiful B-Well cooking olive oil. Now this cooking olive oil is really special because it is created for high heats. Okay, so I add in 1 cup of my raw red onion. They have caramelized, they are brown and beautiful. It means that my mushrooms is ready to go in. Okay, so my mushrooms are browning beautifully. It means that they are ready for me to get in the broth, get in the tomato bases, and then we're going to add in our soy mince, and then we're going to get spiced up. Let's get cooking. So we're just going to get 1 can of our chopped plum or our Italian tomatoes. We're going to add that onto our mushrooms, and then we are going to add 2 tablespoons of our tomato puree. And just to cover it all and just to give it some more moisture, we are adding 1 cup of our veggie broth. So before we add our spices and into that tomatoey mushroom mixture, we're going to add 340 grams of soy mince. You're going to have to look for it where you can find it at one of your Chinese grocers or perhaps at an Indian grocer. But this is such an amazing product, especially if you are wanting to go up for something that is meat-free. And now there is a little bit of a taboo around soya, but did you know that soy is actually really good for heart health? And this is why this recipe is one of the incredible bunch that you can also find in our heart health cookbook called the Happy Heart Cookbook, which is completely free downloadable. Check the website out. Okay, so I'm adding this to the tomato mixture. So for our spices, we are going to be putting in half a teaspoon or a quarter, depending on your spice preference, of cayenne pepper. We're going to get 1 teaspoon of our paprika. We're going to go half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of our cumin powder, 1 teaspoon of that dried basil, just a stick of cinnamon, and then to the mix we are also going to be adding 1 tablespoon of our Worcester sauce, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. And just before I forget, half a teaspoon of oregano. Okay, so the last thing to finish it off, we're going to add in a cup of frozen peas, and we're going to add 2 handfuls of barley. So while I have the mince simmering on the stove, I have moved on to my potatoes. I'm going to get these yummy creamy mashed potatoes done. So you can see my 4 russet potatoes are nice and soft. And basically to the pot, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of vegan butter. And then we have 80 to 120 mils of your plant milk. You can choose whichever one you want. I'm not going to add all of it. I'm just going to add half, and we can always top up depending on the thickness that we want it. Okay, so I actually like the texture of this thickness, so I'm not going to use any more plant milk, but I am going to grab that garlic that I already toasted when I was cooking up my oil. So I'm going to add that inside, and then just to add a little bit of salt and pepper to flavor. And that is it. I'm just going to give it a light stir, And it seems like my mince is also done on the stove. Let's create this beautiful shepherd's pie. A last dot of butter and a sprinkle of nutritional yeast, and we're going to pop this baby into the oven for 30 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius.